Today we're going to be making some glorious painted papers. So stick around and find out how I made these.
Working on my daydreams, down bed wishing you'd come and save me.
Hello and welcome back to a kooky corner of YouTube. Today I am making some painty papers, and these are specifically for some collage I've got in mind coming up very soon, which we can do together if you like. So if you fancy making some of these ready for a nice collage session, then stay with me and we can do this together. Things you're going to need: obviously you're going to need some paper. I just use ordinary print paper. It's nothing special, it's not watercolor paper, it's not expensive, it's just the stuff that goes through your printer, and that works really well because it's a nice thin paper for collage. Then you don't want too thick a paper because that can cause problems. Obviously you can use thicker paper and it just takes a little more gluing, but I quite like this thin print paper because it's just the right consistency. You're going to need some paint, so acrylic paint. You're going to need some mark making tools. You're going to need some brushes in order to paint the papers, and you're going to need a sense of fun, because that's what we're going to add into these as well, because it's going back to your childlike state and having fun splashing around some paint and papers. Okay, so let's have a little look at some of my mark making tools. A stick. It's an old dowel. It's sharpened at one end just with a pencil sharpener, and it has been used many times, as you can see, for lots of different things, including glitter. I don't buy the expensive catalyst tools. What I do buy are kitchen spatulas or DIY scrapers, squeegees, whatever, spreaders. These work really well. This is just a culinary like scraper kind of thing that gives decorative edges on plates. This is like a double whammy kind of thing. It's got a curved edge, straight edges. These are the things I use instead of the catalyst tools, which, although wonderful, are quite expensive, and they don't fit into my budget at the moment. I just can't justify it. So these are scrapers. These also old credit cards, old cards, key cards, shop cards. They are also good for spreading paper, glue, whatever you like. So yeah, I recommend having a look around and finding what you can in the DIY areas, and also in like kitchen shops and stuff. So those are they. I've got my nice metal ruler. I use that for splitting my paper down the middle instead of spending time cutting it, because who's got that time? Who's got that time? Other things I've got here is it is a glue spreader. It's got like a silicone end at one side, which is really good when you're spreading glue. Also got a traditional kind of glue spreader on the other side. But I thought it might make some kind of a mark making tool. Anything that you've got, basically, you know, anything that will like stamp or make a mark or what have you is great for making painty papers. These are sponge brushes from a kid's printing set. I think it cost about 99p or something from the works, but there's a whole load of these little spongy brushes you can get in different sizes and things, and these are great for like mark making also. So I'll show you what I do with those in a while. This I've had for years and years. It's my big water tub, and it also helps me clean off my brushes and things. It's got a lid which is quite handy, so that if you leave it for any length of time you can cover it over, or if you're carrying it so you don't splosh it down yourself. Said the voice of experience. And what's this doing under here? Oh, it's a glove. Let's get that there. Put that over there. Yeah, if you're not fussy about getting your hands all messy, then you don't need to worry about these. But these are just non-latex gloves that I use for dyeing generally. I do sometimes use them when I'm using a lot of acrylics on my hands and things, because it's not a good thing to get covered in acrylic. But those are quite handy because you can still feel what you're doing. They're not like kitchen gloves, you know, the washing up gloves. These are nice and thin, so they're handy to use. This is my top tip. Instead of an ink or a palette, should I say, this is a lid of something from IKEA, and I saw these. They tend to stack the like things that these cover over the in two parts. So you've got the main part, the glass part, and then you have a lid part. And I think the lid parts are great for like rolling out paint or whatever and keeping it contained, because it's kind of like a nice little shallow tray, if you like. So I tend to use those when I'm working on my painty papers, because you could even cover it with like a Teflon sheet if you want to put your paints on there, if you don't want to clean up this. But they clean up really well. I've cleaned this up many times and it's absolutely fine. And I bought myself about 3 or 4 of them because they're so cheap. So yeah, top tip, IKEA kitchenware areas and places where you can buy tools from. Okay, on to base paints for your painty papers. I use acrylic paint. The ones that I have tend to be in either the Amsterdam range. It's the not professional. There's a professional range. I don't use those for my painty papers because you don't really need to. These are beautiful. I love the Amsterdam paints, and I've got quite a few in varying colours. The other thing I like are the PBO. I always say P as in PBO. I don't know why I say that, but there must be a reason. Correct me if I am wrong. So yeah, studio acrylics. I buy these in Hobbycraft when they are on sale. So usually they'll have a 3 for 2, and I will go in and snap up a whole lot, or they'll do them like for £2, something silly like that for a tube. And I wait for the sales. I kind of gauge which ones I'm either low on. I'm low on black at the moment. I'm also low on a bronze. Some of them I've got like triplets of because I've just whacked them in the basket because I know I love them. So I know they'll get used. So yeah, there are 2 types of the PBO ones I have. So we have got this, which is like the basic transparent ones here. These are what used to be called Dino, but now they're kind of just like an iridescent. I love these. If you can get hold of the PBO iridescent ones in all the different colours, they are awesome. They leave such a beautiful shine on a painted paper. I have to say, love those to bits. So yeah, Studio Acrylics by PBO, get a huge thumbs up from me. You can also get these pouches of acrylic paint by Sennelier, which are nice as well. I've picked up a few of those. A lot of these I picked up in a sale at Hobbycraft again. They were all bundled into a box and I just grabbed a whole load of those out. So I love these as well. So, but any acrylic paint you've got, you go with what you've got. Don't go out buying anything specifically at all. You can get whatever you need from what you've got, and that will all work very well. To spread my paint around, I've got some fairly biggish brushes. That's a Catalyst bristle filbert, which I kind of love. Beautiful. That's a Crimson and Blake one. That's from the Works. So it's a really cheapy brush, but great for just spreading for what we need. And this one is a Daler Rowney Bristle White. Bristles are not so white at the minute, but nice big brushes. You could even use these kind of things, or you could have big decorating brushes, you know, like these kind of things. Those are also good for making painty papers. Cover a lot of area with those. So that's basic acrylics, brushes, and some of the basic tools. And now I'll go on to the mark making tools that I like to use when I'm making them. So when it comes to adding marks or decorative marks to my pieces of paper, I like to use acrylic inks. Something nice about playing around with a bit of acrylic wink. You can wink, an acrylic wink. You can't see me winking, but I'm winking at you now. I'm winking. Acrylic ink. So FW is, I've got a whole ton of these, an actual whole ton, because they were clearing some out once. I know I sound like a broken record, but I do tend to grab bargains when I see them. So I've got a whole load of these. I've also got a whole load that my mother-in-law donated to me. She bought some and she didn't use them, so she passed those on to me as well. I think they were in a pack of 6 or something. They came into a pack of 6. The other thing I've got is pearlescent. These are also FW as well, or they're De La Rowney, should I say. And these are beautiful. They're shiny. They leave a beautiful shine on your paper. I love these. These are a bit like the PBO acrylics that I showed you, the Dino ones. Or Dino? Were they called Dino? I can't remember. Anyway, these are just a lot more fluid than the ones in the tubes. That's basically the thing about acrylic ink. It is acrylic paint, but it's kind of like in an ink format. So it's easier to kind of make those writing marks with. If you want to do ceramic writing on pieces, these are great for that as well. So those, I have got these, which I love. These are solid markers. So it's fluorescent paint, solidified paint. They tend to use it underwater for some reason, for marking things underwater. I don't know where I got that from, but I think I read it somewhere. The thing with these is they are very smelly. If you are sensitive to smell, these are not the best thing to choose, I don't think, perhaps, but I absolutely love them. They're great for making marks. So I've got fluorescence and I've got a black and a white in those. Not that you have to use everything fluorescent. I know I've got a lot of fluorescent things here. But the other thing that's good for marking papers, adding marks onto your painty papers, are acrylic markers. I've got a lot of acrylic things, I know, but they are great in collage pieces because once they're down, they don't move. You can play around with them, use glue and stuff, and nothing's going to shift around or smudge. I like these Pintor ones. They're Pilot Pintor. They do fluorescence in all different colours in those. I do like Posca pens, only because they do beautiful thicknesses in them as well. You can get some nice big chunky ones. I also love the Molotov ones as well, because you can get big sizes in those. Also, the Molotov all ones you can refill, so you can get all the markers and then just get a refill paint to go in and fill them all up, which is all very good if you're wanting to not, like Posca, be throwing things away. I think that's very wasteful. I tend to save all my Poscas and fill them up with Molotov inks. Don't tell Posca. No, I just think it's quite wasteful. I like the idea that Molotov paint markers you can refill. Anyway, I'm on a waffle. So other things that you can use that I have got on my desk here. I've got so many things on my desk here. Neocolor wands. These are awesome for mark making. They are your ultimate wax crayon. The only thing you need to remember about these is if you want to put something over the top like a wash, they will resist. Also, that's a good thing if you do want them to resist. Use the Neocolor wands. These are not like the Neocolor 2s. I'm probably telling my granny to suck eggs here, but Neocolor 2s are water soluble. Neocolor wands are not. I love these to bits. I do love them, I have to say. So those are my mark making tools of choice. So let's go and paint some papers. So here we are outside. I've got my trusty Heath Robinson dryer there. That's where I'm going to put my papers to dry off. I'll explain about that later. I've got my water, I've got a backing paper so that I can lay my papers on it. I've got a whole 2 tubs of paint there. Lord above, I've got enough. I've got my markers and I'm just going to start painting now. So literally just slapping down the paint onto the paper. No thought, no care, just having fun, laying down some colour. And this is what I like to do. I like to get the texture of the brush. I like to add some colours in, mix them up a bit, see how they go, playing around with different colourways. I love this fluorescent paint. It's just beautiful, and as you know, I love fluorescence and bright things. So this is like an absolute joy for me. As I say, it's something I do once or twice a year where I create Painty Papers. And this day today, it's absolutely perfect. It's beautiful sunny weather. I found a shady spot near one of my sheds and I've set myself up in a camp here just to paint. And I just thoroughly enjoy it. And another good thing about being outside in the sunny weather is that the papers dry so quickly. They dry so quickly. It's unbelievable. Here I'm just doing a few splatters as well. Another nice thing to do, especially with like a white or a pearlescent colour. They show up really well on these beautiful papers. So yeah, just having a lot of fun, and it's a case of you just spend about an hour just painting. I think I've got about 35 sheets of paper here that I'm just going through, painting them up and having a blast. And yeah, I'm just going to let you watch the rest of this, and hope you enjoy.
I was just a kid when I met you, honey. Working on my daydreams. Down bed wishing you'd come and save me. If only I'd have a time machine back then, I'd see us dancing in the kitchen night. No one thought we could ever make it. Didn't know time could move so fast. 10 years later and I'm still your baby. Hold tight, 'cause I know that we're changing, but I will be forever young in your arms. Tell the story about you and me, of how I loved you, gon' love you like summer 15. Hold tight, 'cause I know that we're changing, but I will be forever young in your arms. Tell the story about you and me, of how I loved you, gon' love you like summer 15. We were always living for the weekend, painting pictures, you and me. Late night drives, music loud, hearts were speaking. Closed my eyes and I was dreaming. Hold tight, 'cause I know that we're changing, but I will be forever young in your arms. Tell the story about you and me, of how I loved you, gon' love you like summer 15. Hold tight, 'cause I know that we're changing, but I will be forever young in your arms. Tell the story about you and me, of how I loved you, gon' love you like summer 15. Can't see myself without you now, it's overdue. We try to go our separate ways, but I come back, it's true. Maybe we're both missing out on life, playing by the rules. What if I'm changing for the better because of you?
So I'm back outside just because it's a nice day. It's very windy today. It's a lot windier than yesterday when I painted the papers. But I just wanted to show you this a little more up closely. This is my, oh, windy boy, Heath Robinson drying rack. These, I bought this really cheaply from Amazon. It's like a unit that you put together and it goes into cubes. You've got these little like connector things that connect everything together to make it into a standing unit with cubes ostensibly. Well, I didn't want that. I wanted a drying rack. So basically I've kind of put this together into one cube, and then I have cable tied all the other little bits into the middle to give me about 10 areas that I can dry into. And to be honest, I can probably fit about 20 papers in here. On a day like today, they dry really quickly, so I can whip through them, dry them off, get them out, get them straightened. So that was my best friend yesterday. Today it's very windy. I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a go, because today I want to do some decorating of the papers I made yesterday. So let's give this a shot. Apologies for weird shadows, but how we do this generally is I've got all my painted papers here that I did yesterday. They've all dried off. I've kind of had them just sitting around underneath one book. They're not perfectly flat, but I'm not worried about that. That's not what I'm after. I'm after some collage papers. So I double my pieces to start off with by doing this. So instead of A4 sheets, I end up with A5, and this gives me options. So I'll still have the same sheet of paper that I've made, but I'll put it into two and I'll decorate one half, if that makes sense to you. I'm going to put them back underneath here as I do them. So all I'm doing is cut them into half. This is, I say, something I do probably once, twice a year, where I do some Painty Papers. It's a lot of fun. This is what I love, because I do use collage quite a bit in my pieces, and I'm just going to do that all the way through until I've got a whole stack of these A5 now instead of A4 sheets. And we'll see how it goes out here with the weather. And we keep getting gusts of wind that blowing everything everywhere. I've kind of got everything weighted down, so hopefully this touch wood should work. So you can see I've not ripped them all yet. I did have 35, so that by the time I've cut them into half, I'll have 70, which is plenty. And what I do next is I'll separate them out into two piles. So I've got one pile of plain and another one to work on. I like to have options. I like to leave the sheet as it is so that I can play around with it at another time maybe. But it's also nice to have some ready made, ready to go. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take you around to the table again, and we are going to have a time decorating these. So with the papers that we painted yesterday, I'm now going in with some of this pearlescent acrylic ink. I absolutely adore this stuff. This, amazingly, I've had for years and years and years, and it just keeps going on and on. So when you do get some, it lasts you forever. I'm using the dabber tool here to great effect, just dotting on some of this beautiful pearlescent colour. And yeah, we're going to have some fun decorating these up today with different mark making tools and paints, etc, etc. So yeah, stick around. Yeah, so it's kind of windy, so I think I think we're going to decamp back to the studio. Back in the studio, so let's have a go with some of the Neo colours. Let's see what kind of damage we can do with these. We'll go for this white one. So as you can see, you can make some lovely marks with these. They are your posh wax crayons. Just go back to your childhood where you had fun splashing paint everywhere and making marks, scribbly marks, and you didn't care. You just had an absolute blast. And that's how I feel when I make Painty Papers, to be fair. I do love just having fun. Some mark making. You don't have to mark make as much as this. You can do as much or as little as you want. It is totally up to you. I'm just going crazy because you know I like my colours. You know I like bright things. You do whatever you like. You can do very precise stripes if you want, if that's what you want to do. But I find the most fun is had when you let go and you don't care about the outcome. Because let's face it, it's a piece of printer paper. You don't have to be precious about this, and that's one of the things I love about it. So you can see on this piece of paper here the effects of that beautiful shine from those PBO paints on the Lush, and you can get a similar effect obviously as well from the pearlescent acrylic inks. It's just a matter of how you like to lay down your pieces. I'm going to go in here with, what am I going to go in with? Decisions. I'm just going to put some little squirrely bits on here. I like spots and stripes, but then I want to do some collage cats, so, or animals in general. I might not do all of this because that's the joy of it. That's why I cut my papers in half, because I've still got another half of this that's not got anything on it yet, and I can use it as is, or I can decorate it a different way, and I just don't care. You could even do some Semitic writing if you wanted. Oh, that's quite nice also. Different bits of collage. Don't think about it, just do it. Don't think, just do. So you can go on as much as you like with these. I love these. As I say, they are water resistant. So if you do go over anything with anything else, if you do with a wash or something, let's try it, shall we? Let's do one of those. In for a penny, in for a pound. But pop these out of the way. I'll get my trusty Teflon mat. So say I want to cover all the bits in these. On my Painty Papers, you probably noticed I like to leave a little bit of white. I just think it adds texture, but maybe you don't want that. So, in which case, I go in with my cheapy paints. These are from the Works. I'll spread a bit on there like that. These are poster paints. Get myself a spready tool. And just glaze over it. Look at that. Kind of magic. Change colour. But you can see the white, the black is still coming through. It doesn't cover over that. So something like that, you can literally change the colour of it into something else and make it into a different piece of paper. And pop that over there to dry. What else can we do? Put that one out over on the finished pile. You can, obviously, once you've made your collage, you can also add into things with pencils, like luminance pencils or, you know, a decent pencil. will go over the top of some of these. So you can add in with those as well. I like the Chinese white pencil. This is a Derwent. So you can see you can make marks with like any of the colour pencils that you've got. But I do like this Chinese white. It's got a good grippy feel to it. So you can add mark making in with that as well. Let's try it on a darker piece, if I can find one. Yeah. This one here. So I'm just going to go over these with coloured pencil. As I say, you can do as much or as little decorating into your painted papers as you like. You can see how much effort it is, none at all, just to do some beauteous things. I'm going to even spread some of that on there because I just want to see what it looks like. Oh, quite interesting. Let's do it on half, shall we? It's all about playing, and you also, when you're doing this, get to know how your pieces work together. Oh, so you've got two different pieces now. You've got a piece with like a yellow glaze on it. It doesn't have to be yellow, it's just the one I had to hand, okay? So that's another one I can set off to dry. And I mean, sometimes you get some uninspiring bits like this, so I'm just going to add some more yellow into that just because I like it, and I've got some left. You can see how quickly you can do these. They're just so easy to do. I'm not even going to do all of it. I'm just going to do a bit of it. How about that for Renegade? And then you could add marks into this. That's what I'm saying. You can do as much or as little as you like. And all I'm saying is just have some fun, because we're going to be if you want to make them along with me, I'm going to be making some collages with all the papers that we've made today. So, yeah, just have some fun. Another thing you can do, keeps finding other things we can do, but I honestly, you can just go to town with these. So say you've got a nice piece like that, which I have, and I just want to add something into it. So I've got these Stickles glitters. Now you can do all kinds of mark making with these and leave them to dry just as it is, or you could just rub it in. You've got a shiny piece. How magical is that? There we go. Shiny, shiny, shiny. As if it wasn't shiny enough. Well, I am a magpie, you know, this is what I do. Collect the shiny things. So there, lots of painty papers. Let's have a little look through some of the ones we've made. So look at all these beauties. Look at all these. I actually love that one. I like the fact that the bubbles settled and made a different texture altogether on that. Love it. That kind of looks like some kind of pond. Just amazing what you can get. That's got some nice black stripy bits on it. So many. This colour I love. That is an Amsterdam colour underneath there, but then it's got this pearlescent on top. I just think it works so well. So we've got 100, well, we've got 75. If you made 35 big A4 sheets like me and split them in half, that means 70 pieces of paper that you can work with. And how much fun have we had? Not only that, but we've also got the incidental paper from underneath with all these beauteous marks on it that you could use in something. Don't ever throw away your painted back papers, because they're just very useful collage fodder. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you will enjoy doing a little bit of collage with me in the future, because I do intend to. If you can hear the crows outside, they're wanting to nick all these beautiful shiny things I've got on my table. But yes, I will be back here very, very soon with something else. So make sure to click on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means that you'll get to know every time I put a video up. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I'll be back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.